Everybody, welcome back to the Roll Jump Media Podcast, episode 2. All right, I also have my panelists joining me once again. We have my co host, Andres, and our guests, Luis and Jose. All
Hello,
right, you
hello.
guys say what's up.
Hello.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
All right,
Thank
nice
you
to
for
have you guys
joining
back
us.
on the podcast. I appreciate y'all coming back. All right,
Thank you. Yeah, we're glad to be back.
all right, cool. I like to hear it. I like to hear it. All right, so let's go ahead and start off this podcast like we usually do. We're going to go ahead and start off by talking about what we've been playing. So, somebody go ahead and start it off. What you guys been playing?
Okay,
Um,
let's have the twins go. Let's have our guests go first.
yeah, so we it basically hasn't changed for us since last time we spoke. We've been playing Animal Crossing pretty much the whole time. Every day. I know the Bunny Day event came out, so that's been keeping us entertained pretty much. Um, it's been good. I mean, I like the and the well, April started, so the what is it? The cherry blossoms? No, it's not cherry blossoms, is it? The cherry.
I believe it's called the
Yeah.
chat. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Those came out, so I mean, it's a nice
Change up
new,
environment.
yeah, it's a new environment, so kind of. I mean, I was already drawn into it, but it kind of just refreshed it a little bit, so kept me engaged with the game. So I mean, personally, I've been having fun with it, getting the new fish and insects that are popping up too. I don't know about you, Luis.
Well, I mean, basically the same thing. Mostly I've been trying to get eggs. It's the only thing you can do right now.
Yeah.
I've been hearing around social media that people are trying to get like frustrated about it. And, but personally, just this like collective or this what's it called? This hunger for collection, I guess. So I've been trying to get the eggs to be able to craft all the available
DIYs.
DIYs. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
been fun. So yeah, every day I play like I want to say 3 to 4 hours a week, and
that's
just
a
Okay.
good
chatting.
chunk.
Yeah,
That's modest, I guess.
That's
yeah,
modest.
and I think it's good because you pace yourself, and because like I said, a lot of people are getting frustrated by it. So maybe you keep it short every day. It's a
Yeah.
healthy dose of Animal Crossing.
See, I've been having
But
trouble play. I've been playing Animal Crossing nonstop still since last week. But I've
yeah,
been having problems with this Bunny Day event. I share my frustration with the people of the internet because I can't. As it is, I already hate fishing in the game. I hate fishing. I do not have the patience for fishing. And
yes,
when I even try, when I work up like the energy to go fishing, I get super frustrated that I fish up an egg, and it just makes me want to stop.
Same.
But other than that, I mean, it seems like it's a pretty good event so far. The season did change. April started, so they introduced a new wave of bugs, sea creatures, and the like. So it's the to me the game didn't lose any steam yet for them to kind of like already introduce new creatures and stuff to like fill up your Critterpedia. I feel like they probably could have afforded to wait another month for that.
Okay.
But the game is still pretty good in my opinion. I'm still liking it so far. It's just I'm getting if I dig up or fish up another egg, I swear it's not gonna be pretty.
So for the DIY recipes, do they only require the eggs, or are there other materials that are involved in that? I haven't done one, that's why.
The majority of them um they require the eggs along with something else like wood or clay stones even um
Okay, so it's
but
not
I
just the egg.
no, it's not just the egg. I mean,
Okay.
if you pick up a certain amount, because there's like 7 different egg types, right? There's the leaf egg, the earth egg, the stone egg, the wood egg, the sky egg, and the sea egg, right? So I mean, if you collect a certain amount of each separate kind of egg, you get like 3 new DIY recipes, which is basically for like a shirt, some shoes, and then something else. I think it's like a backpack. I can't remember. But those exclusively use just the eggs. But I mean, there's tons of other recipes that use like the eggs in conjunction with like clumps of weed, the stones, depending on what it is that you're crafting.
Okay. I was just curious about that. I thought it was just the eggs, just to emphasize the event, but it seems like it's not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I also been dabbling a little bit. Oh, you guys wanted to say something?
Oh, no, no, no. We were gonna
Oh.
ask you while you were finished.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, I haven't been playing as nearly as much as you guys have been. The only time I did play a lot or semi a lot was when I went on with you guys to just mess around and goof around in your towns. But other than that, I just been logging on to get my Nook miles, and I do enjoy the scenery though. I really enjoy the new pink trees. Those are really pretty, and the what do they call it, cherry blossoms that float in the wind when you walk
Right.
around.
The petals,
The
right? The cherry
petals,
blossom petals.
the petals, yeah, that's really nice. Those are nice touches that I do enjoy. Those little things,
Hmm.
and I just enjoy the base game on its own, and just having a new things to collect and a new look for at least for a little while with the bunny around. It's nice. It's
Hmm.
nice to see.
Right.
We'll see on the Animal Crossing Direct before the game launched. I mean, they had already said that they have plenty of events lined up because this is just one of many. But I mean, there's like a Mardi Gras one I think that's coming up also or something.
An Earth
I
Day.
Um,
believe birthday is coming up this month too.
yeah. So I mean, there's gonna be tons of events that are gonna be coming up that'll probably keep the game fresh for people that when they kind of lose steam playing every day and the just the nuances of digging up fossils or whatever, because a lot of people don't really, you know, I guess put in as much hours as we do. I mean, we've been finding it fun. I mean, I've been playing Animal Crossing for a while, so this to me, this is nothing new. Like this is like the grind, I guess if you want to call it. Like it's something I'm used to, so I don't get bored of the game too easily. But I already know some people already dropped off.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think the introduction of like multiple events, limited time events, I think will definitely help.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
gonna keep
agree.
the game
And I'm
fresh.
pretty sure most people are still trying to level up their island. I mean, at least I am, sort of.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Quick question. How far in development of your house are you in?
man, I'm the
I
one that
still have
plays the
one more
least,
month.
so I'll go ahead. I still got my one room uh house.
Really?
I have enough money to pay off the first one, but your boy's not playing enough to wanna cash. I'm not trying to catch the Nooks Cranny before 10. I usually log on like at 11 something, and I gotta
Mm-hmm.
cash in my little Bell vouchers to get enough money.
Mm.
So I haven't done that yet, but I do have enough to pay off the first one at least.
Dang, you're roughing it then. Okay.
Yeah,
What
I'm
about
roughing
what
it.
about Jose?
I only have one room so far.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, it's one room, but I'm paying off my loan so I can start getting rooms. And I mean, I don't know. I think I just want to save up.
Oh
This
my
is like real
God.
life.
Okay. You know what? This is a lot. This is worse than I thought.
Yeah.
I don't even want to ask Luis because I'm pretty sure he's probably still in a tent.
No, 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 no.
No, I have one more room as well. But
Oh,
I
so
already
so
paid
you
it.
have your main room in addition
I
to
have my
like
main
the
room and
extra
then one
room
extra.
in the back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that means you have to make not just one. Was it? Is that like three payments in to get a room?
So you
Yeah,
well,
something
yeah,
like
so
that.
the
Yeah.
first payment is to pay off the tent, but you could use Nook Miles. So I don't know if that one really counts. So but
Yeah.
then like your very first mortgage is when you make your tent into a house. That's your first mortgage. So, and
Right.
then the second one is when you get a second was when you get another room attached to the main house, I guess.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't even have that,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm
Oh,
at.
yeah. So you just have just the main room. Is what you're
Yeah,
talking about. You just have the main room.
yeah.
Okay. All right. See y'all sleeping on this game because I got everything already. I got the main room, my three additional rooms, my attic, and my basement. I got my mansion set up already. Matter of fact, last or yesterday when I was playing in the morning, I paid Nook to do the customize the home option. So I haven't logged on today to see how it looks like, but I mean I customized the exterior of my house too. So I got it going on right now.
Bet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ain't no way in hell
Well,
I'm
anyway,
doing that, but props to you.
yeah. Okay? So before this becomes another Animal Crossing
Yeah, we're about
podcast,
11 minutes in already.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Ray, what you been playing? Because you said you've been playing other stuff other than just Animal Crossing.
Yeah, 'cause I don't mess with Animal Crossing as heavy as I did the first week, so I did play some other stuff. All right, so the first thing I've been playing, just a real quick nod. My 3DS is not dead. I actually bought a game on my 3DS. It was actually published by Atlas, called Coda Princess. So Coda Princess is basically a side scroller, and there's different planes to the battle area. So you can be either in the middle, the front, or the back, and you have different characters that are like the thief, the great sword user, the necromancer. I've gotten that far, I believe, three characters. And it's basically a beat 'em up. You just go around clearing out the area, and once you clear out the area, you get a bit of exposition. So the exposition is really anime-esque,
Mm-hmm.
enjoyable just to experience and see the quirkiness of the characters in the story, basically. So it's just kind of like it's just a fun game to have on your 3DS, just to pop for a little bit, like 15 minutes, and enjoy yourself basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, and that game got delisted from the 3DS starting in April. So I think April, yeah, the beginning of April, I believe. So I wanted to hop
So
on
you
that to
got
see
it.
how it was.
Okay.
You got
So
it.
Yeah,
so it's basically no longer available then.
yeah, it's no longer available on the 3DS, but it's still on Steam on the PC and also on the Switch, just
Mm.
without the dub, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, since you brought up an Atlas title, we did have the big releases this
Oh,
week. We had
yeah,
Persona 5 Royal
yeah, yeah,
coming
yeah.
out.
But let me mention a couple more things real quick. 1 minute though.
Okay.
All right, all right. I like the segue though. I appreciate the segue. Let's see. I also been using my 3DS to play a little bit of Dragon Quest 8.
Okay.
I got Dragon Quest 8 the day Metroid Samus Returns came out, and I still haven't finished that mixtape. But yeah, yeah, it's pretty long. But basically, I just been enjoying going around the open world. Dragon Quest 8 does have a really good music, so just walking around, fighting the enemies that pop up. It's not random battles. You can walk into the enemies, so it's not as annoying. And just using the character abilities and seeing the story keep unraveling. The characters are endearing, and the battle system's fun to see because there's like quirky animations and things that the characters will use. So I've been having fun getting back into that. And the last thing that I played was Sekiro. Sekiro. So Sekiro, I still haven't finished. I'm close to the end. I spent about an hour trying to fight a boss that's towards the end. And if you ever wanted your heart to palpitate out your chest and for your fingers to start shaking after you're done with the freaking boss, then your game is Sekiro. Okay, Sekiro is actually will cut off life from your lifespan because it's that hard.
From all the stress.
Yeah, and once you triumph a boss fight in Sekiro, you do it's mandatory for you to shout out, just exclaim how joyful you are to everybody in your house. You have to disturb everybody because you're that happy that you got through something that wasn't,
You thought you.
yeah, that it was seemed like damn near impossible. So I've been dabbling in a little bit of everything this week.
No wonder you look kind of older. Last time we saw
Yeah, I got a little bit of that gruff going.
you.
Yeah, so that's I just wanted to put that out there, say what I'm playing.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's your Animal Crossing class?
All right, so we were going to segue into Persona 5 Royale, so let's go ahead and do that. So for Persona 5 Royale, just so you guys, if just in case you guys were living under a rock and didn't know about Persona 5 Royale coming out, it was it came out last Tuesday or this Tuesday of this week, March 31st, and the reviews have been pretty outstanding. All right, so the reviews on Metacritic they have been a 94 critically and an 87 for user reviews. So they're pretty close together, the critics being a little bit more favorable.
Hmm.
IGN wrote they gave it 100, Persona 5 Royale, and
Really?
yes, they did. 100 out of 100. And they say that Persona 5 was already a strong front runner for being the best JRPG ever made, and Royal really gets me wondering what else could even compete. The excellent story and its lovable multi-dimensional characters, along with the challenging tactical combat, are all refined and back for another round with new surprises and new friends in tow. So that's a little excerpt from what it says.
Okay.
All right, so very very favorable reviews for Persona 5 Royale. Um, Unfortunately, none of us in the group have gotten a copy to try it out for ourselves, but we are big fans of the original Persona 5. So, what are you guys thinking about the reception of Persona 5 and how everybody on social media and in the world is receiving it?
I mean, it's not surprise to me, since the Persona 5 was like highly praised as well. Uh, so I mean, again, it's not a big surprise for me to hear this from Persona 5 Royale. Does IGN usually give out perfect scores to me?
No, because IGN they have like they use decimals to like by the tenth, so they'll go like 9.1, 9.2. So
Um,
a straight 100 is actually very high praise.
what do you guys think? You and Andres, you guys are like the big Persona fans.
Yeah, I think the original Persona 5 got similar scores. Royal does add new things for the fans to enjoy, but uh, for me personally, ponying up, well, if I were to get this, I would get the special edition with the mask and the art book. So I wasn't in a position to pony up another 90 to experience Persona 5 again for the majority. It's pretty much the majority of the game is still intact, except there's like new bells and whistles and things to uncover along the way. And for a lot of people, that was enough for them to jump back in. But at this point in time, I'm interested, but I'm not going to be jumping back in immediately.
Mhm.
Well, see, I'm the complete opposite because I mean, I I've heard on multiple accounts that it's the same, but it is different, and it's
Yeah.
different enough where it can almost be considered its own game.
All new game.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a bunch of new mechanics that were introduced, like because when like taking it back all the way to when Joker was announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like I remember when they did his announcement trailer, and then later they did his moveset trailer, and then there was like, oh, he's using a grappling hook, and I'm like, there was no grappling hook in Persona 5.
Right.
And then the Persona 5 Royal announcement trailer came out too, and then it had shots of gameplay where you're actually traversing through the palaces, through different means. Like it's no longer just like a linear path, through hallways and stuff like that. Like you can actually like swing around, using your grappling hook. Not only that, but I mean, there's new battle mechanics that were introduced. They refined a lot of what was there before. You know, for example, you're
We
like
try not to
for
spoil too much, though.
those that use the gun in battle, like you could only use whatever bullets you had going into the palace, and if you used all your bullets in one battle, like that's it, you had no more bullets.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
they replenish bullets after every battle, so you can literally just use the gun with no consequences now. And then like the stuff like the baton pass, like there's actually like audio and visual cues to let you know like what position of the baton pass was, because sometimes I would lose track, like, oh, is this the second or the third time that I've used the baton pass? But like, there's new cues that were added. It's the little things like that that draw my attention.
I see.
But I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
So,
not only that, but I mean, for those that played the original Persona 5, that the game technically ends on December 24th, because that was when you had to complete the palace, the final palace. But now they're actually filling in the gap between December and March when the game officially ends with new palaces. There's a new character also that joins the technically two new party members, because Goro Akechi actually gets to stay in the party in addition to Kazumi too. So I mean, I don't know. I kind of disagree with you, Ray, that it's basically, I don't think it's revisiting the same game. I think what they added was different enough where it could be considered like its own game, you know?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Um, the game is just super, super long on its own, and I believe a lot of all that content is still in Persona 5 Royale.
Hmm.
So if you're not attuned to all the nuances, I guess, it might seem a little bit samey. But I still believe that I forgot about the new after I forgot what is the whatever parts of the game that didn't get expanded on
Hmm.
towards the end. I forgot about that detail. That is a really really nice addition that I would like to experience. But yeah, just at this current time, I'm not inclined to do it over again, basically. But yes, I
Yeah.
do. I do see where you're coming from, and I do agree with your points.
So we had not only Persona 5 Royal, but we also had, another title that I was very, very much looking forward to. We got Resident Evil 3 Remake last night. And I mean,
Yes, we
I think
did.
I we had a live stream, between all of us. We live streamed that game, of course. I mean, everybody and their mama was playing that game yesterday, but
Yep, yep.
Check that
we
out.
had we
Good
had a
job.
pretty good time. We had a pretty good time. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so before we
Let's
dive
o- let's
into our
open up the
own,
floor to let's open up the floor to Jose and Luis first. Let's see what their first impressions of the game was.
okay, let's go ahead and with our opinions first. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and do that.
well, I mean, it has been a long time since we last played the original Resident Evil 3.
Mm,
Actually, I don't think we ever actually played the game, but I mean, we vaguely remember like the graphics and the storyline of that game. Um, Obviously now with this remake, the graphics are obviously much better. Um,
Worlds
and
apart, worlds apart.
I mean, one thing that I did notice while watching the live stream yesterday um, was just I remember when I first saw Resident Evil 3, like the original, it felt very and I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but it felt kind of cartoonish, like the game.
okay.
Um,
Interesting.
I remember like the colors were kind of bright for like a I don't know, maybe it's my I don't know. But anyways, for this remake, watching it being played, um the what is it, the environment,
Right.
the atmosphere,
Okay.
it's very tense.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
right off the
very,
bat,
very dark. Yeah.
yeah, and there's very little like exposition in the game.
It
Um,
just throws you
it
like
kind
right
of throws
into
you into the game already, so you don't
Just
really have
yeah.
time to.
I mean,
So I mean,
that's
it's
something that they attempted to do in the original, because I mean, right off the bat too, like, the game opens with Jill escaping like her apartment, catching on fire, right? And it just immediately
yeah,
throws you into the game. But I feel like this one did it, it did it better than the original, right? Because you got to see the calm before the storm, because it starts off kind of slow. You're getting used to your controls and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, like, bam, like, just stuff hits the fan, and it just throws you right in the middle of the action, and very, very little time is devoted to like actually explaining what's happening. Like, you're just literally thrown into like a city in chaos, which you could really feel it this time around. You know, I it I I sympathize with you, like in the sense that yeah, it not so. I didn't really feel it was cartoony as much as it was, but like I get the sense of what you're trying to say, that it was just kind of like not well, kind of hysterical. Not we're not hysterical, but like kind of humorous, because it's just like it's it's not really terror inflicting the setting, anyways. But yeah,
Well, one of the
what
things
about?
that I liked about the Resident Evil 3 is that isn't it the first Resident Evil where they throw you into like the city, um, and you see like all these people, becoming zombies. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about that game was that you were able to be out there. Um, it's basically because like I don't know, like I'm a huge fan of like horror movies where people have to like survive like
Mhm.
this environment,
Okay.
hostile environment,
Yeah.
like I don't know, like in a real world setting.
Right.
Well, I mean, all of it's a real world setting, but like in a city, so I really enjoyed that to be able to see that in HD with better graphics,
Yeah.
better sound. It's really cool.
Mhm.
Personally, I'm thinking because I haven't gotten the game. Personally, I'm thinking of getting the game. I I bought Resident Evil 2 remake, and before that, I played the what's it called? It's the collection on the PS3, the with Resident Evil Zero and Resident Evil One.
Yo,
Okay,
So
you
the
cultured, man.
Origins collection.
Look at this
yeah,
cultured man.
yeah. So because it had been a while since I revisited Resident Evil, so
Okay.
it's a franchise that I enjoyed uh, watching when I was a kid. Someone else play, and so I wanted to like get back into it and play it. And I mean, I like the franchise, so I've been wanting to get into it. So I'm thinking of
Okay.
getting the game. I mean, it looks really, it looks intense. Watching a boy play it.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if I could
Yeah.
the stress,
I
but I
mean,
mean,
I basically lost all credibility as a Resident Evil fan and a player, because it literally took me 3 hours, a little more than 3 hours, to basically do like 30 minutes worth of gameplay. Cause I have a confession. Well, Ray and I actually both have a confession for y'all. So
What's
when
that?
we ended the live stream yesterday, I had said that I was not going to play the game unless we were
yeah,
playing it together. But we something happened in the live stream, and I should have realized it sooner, because when you if you happen to incapacitate the nemesis,
Mm-hmm.
he drops a case, right? He drops a case, and when you open it, there's weapon parts, which is what happened in the original. Every time there was an encounter with the nemesis, you could choose to run or you could choose to fight. But if you chose to fight, you would get parts for stronger weapons.
Yeah, we saw that on the
So
live stream.
yeah,
Yeah.
so what I did was, this morning, like I woke up this morning, and I was just like, you know what, like I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna replay the game. I'm gonna start from the beginning.
You started from
And
the
on the very
beginning.
first encounter with Nemesis that you have outside of the power station, right, where you give power back to the subway, when he busts through that building,
Uh-huh.
um, I ran away during the live stream, and I just ignored him. But this time I fought him. I threw a grenade at him, and he just went down with one grenade.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a gun part that we didn't get in the live stream yesterday. So I
Dog,
had
I did the same thing, but I thought I incapacitated him, but he didn't drop anything for me.
Nah, he should have. You probably, but
Fuck.
it must have been because the case literally just like it gets like thrown. It gets thrown like from wherever he's at, like it just flies from his location basically. So it might have fallen someplace off screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played it again, and this time I got the extended magazine clip
Oh, you
for
lucky
the gun that
ass.
you have.
uh, that's really good.
So I went back and I replayed. So I replayed the game. Obviously I got a better time. I actually used the dodge function this time.
Thank
So
God.
yes. So when we go back and visit that gameplay, um, you'll see that I actually have recovery items this time, because I spent a lot of time dodging. spent a lot of time dodging. I saved a lot of bullets, so we got a pretty good arsenal going for us whenever we jump back into that joint.
Nice.
That's
But
good.
Ray, you wanted to say something too, didn't you?
Yeah, about my experience after the
Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted to play this game so bad that after our live stream in the AM, when it ended in the AM, I went straight into it,
Right.
my own gameplay, my own playthrough, and I played the demo. I know you didn't play the demo, so I knew what I was getting myself into as a person that doesn't play much Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
But my history, why I gel well so well with this game is that I love third person shooters. And Resident Evil 3, um, I know Resident Evil 2 was also a third person shooter, but I also am a big fan of agility in characters.
Right.
And Resident Evil 2 wasn't really offering that. Um, the, Arguably, the game does other things much better than RE3. I've read numerous things online how people appreciate this, how the story comes together, the atmosphere, other things that Resident Evil 2 does
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to Resident Evil 3. But me, I really appreciate Jill's agility, her ability to the dodge function on the R1.
Right.
I think it offers a sense of immersion for me to where you're in the thick of the combat and you can be up close and personal and feel like you can handle the zombies without having to run away all the time. I liked being in that combat situation rather than the survival horror situation. I like how the balance is in RE3 to where you can fight the zombies, and at points the game will cut that out and be like, nah, there's too many zombies. There's freaking nemesis chasing you. You can't fight right now, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where the survival horror aspect comes in for me. So
Right.
that's how I'm consuming the game. I'm consuming it as kind of like an action game. But I'm still paranoid by what's happening around me because I don't know where the story's going, and
Mm-hmm.
there's so many zombies coming at you to where you need to be on point with your mechanics so that you don't freaking get bodied.
Right.
So I'm playing on hardcore just as like you are, and I'm kind of like a low key masochist because I freaking love Sekiro even though it beats my ass.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I take an L in RE3, it just gives me more of a what do you call it? A boost in order to overcome whatever
More
challenge.
motivation to
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
to just keep going. So that's how I'm treating it, and I'm very much enjoying RE3 remake.
Right.
It's a 10 for me right now, and on a
Mm-hmm.
personal level.
Yeah. Well, see, a
Nice.
lot of the points that you made there, I mean, so the reason why Jill is, she has a lot more agility, like how you put it,
Yeah,
in comparison to Leon and Claire did in Remake 2 was because Resident Evil 3 had such a short development cycle back in 1999. I mean, that they literally had 1 year to make the game because when Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998, the next generation consoles were getting ready to come out. We had the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 2, and Capcom really wanted the trio. They wanted to have at least one more game on the PlayStation 1 before it went obsolete. So they had a bit of a crunch, trying to get Resident Evil 3
yeah,
out in time. And what's funny is the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis that we know today, um, that it wasn't even supposed to be the numbered title. Like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was never intended to be Resident Evil 3. It was actually going to be a spin-off, and Resident Evil Code Veronica was supposed to be the next numbered title.
The
But
next game.
because they wanted a game on the PS1 before the next gen consoles came out, and they wanted to have a trio, they branded Resident Evil Nemesis as Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
hmm
So I mean, it was a lot of stuff like that. I just gave a little history, by the way.
yeah, yeah,
But it
yeah,
was a lot of, it was basically that limited time where they had to abandon a lot as far as like story, the length of the game. But because of that, they in turn like ended up doing so much more because they implemented the dodge function in the game. They implemented the 180-degree turn because that was something that wasn't in previous Resident Evil titles at the time, was the 180-degree turn.
yeah.
Um, the real time decision options. If in the original there was really only like two bosses, right? It was a giant worm, and
Oh,
then
I don't know. Don't freaking. I didn't play it. Don't go too deep
okay,
into
well,
it.
I mean, if come on, okay, I guess a spoiler warning for a 20-year-old game, but there was only two
Ooh, you
bosses.
got
I'm
me.
not gonna tell you what they were, but because they only had two bosses, they were able to actually work on the nemesis, a lot, and that was really the selling point for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was how good the nemesis was. So, I think now they did expand more of the story because if you think that the story is bare in Resident Evil 3 so far, I mean, it was a lot more bare in the original back in the 1999 original.
No, I
But
don't think that at
I
all.
think so. I think so far I think the story that they're going with so far it's pretty fleshed out. They're giving a lot more backstory to some of the characters.
Hey,
So I think it's pretty. I think overall for me it's pretty good. It's solid. I like it.
and
Yeah,
whoever,
so far. I like
whoever,
it.
whoever is not liking Carlos in the remake, I like to have some words. I really would. Carlos, Carlos is a treasure.
Well, he'll pop up later on, right?
Well, I mean, you can.
You can.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Eventually there'll be a section where you can play as Carlos.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'm looking forward to
Like,
it.
yeah. I mean, they definitely kept Carlos's identity more or less the same. I think he's a little bit more, I guess, chauvinistic in this one, if you want to say that, because he did have like this little flirty like interactions with Jill in the original, just like he has been doing now. But I think it's more in your face this time.
yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, so far, like I said, I think so far they're doing a pretty good job as far as the story, the characters, the setting. Definitely, I mean, you can definitely see that this is like a torn city.
Yeah,
Kind of like how Luis said earlier, this isn't technically the first Resident Evil that introduced Raccoon City, because there was a small segment in Resident Evil 2 where you could actually venture out into the city, but this is the first one that actually makes Raccoon City the actual setting. So they did a pretty good job of like showing the chaos and the destruction and how the zombies have literally taken over the city. And I mean, you got to appreciate the fact that there's actually civilians
yeah,
that you
exactly.
see just running around at random. I think that's a pretty nice touch because obviously not everybody's going to be infected right off the bat. You still have a chance to see people that are still part of the living.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've seen that the main one of the main complaints is the length of the game. I haven't finished it yet, but supposedly it's taking people like 5 to 7 hours to finish. So I don't know. I believe that I'm having enough fun to justify, or more than justify, what I spent on the game
Okay.
personally. So just to
I
throw that
mean,
out there, that's like the main criticism, one of the main
yeah,
criticisms.
I don't really see why that's a criticism because I mean, most Resident Evil games are about that length. Some less than that, but especially if you speed run it, I mean, you could literally finish a Resident Evil game in like 2 hours.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that to me that's not a problem. I mean, that's normal. That's probably just somebody that's new to the series.
yeah. I'm
Because
not
I mean,
sure of the validity of that, but I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know. But a lot of outlets are saying that, so I don't know. Maybe there's something there. But you're a big fan of Resident Evil, so I trust your word before anybody else's, basically.
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean,
All right, so we're almost reaching the 40-minute mark, so I just wanted to really quick say what kind of reviews RE3 is getting. So RE3 is getting an average of 80 on
Hmm.
Metacritic from critics and a 6.1 user score. So not a resounding appreciation for the game. Critics like it more than the users so far.
Hmm.
So by no means bad, but not as great as people probably would have hoped after coming off of RE2 Remake.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people are kind of comparing it to Resident Evil 2. I guess Resident Evil 2 was so good that it kind
That's
of set the
that's
standard
the standard.
for, the
Going forward.
following. Yeah, so I think maybe that's why. Um, I don't know if I agree or disagree because we still haven't
Yeah, you still have to get your hands
seen
on it.
the whole seen
Yeah.
enough of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, really, like so far, like the one nip, I have just like one or two nitpicks really,
Hmm.
and I mean, for me, that's really just in Resident in when Remake 2 came out last year. I loved the option of the original soundtrack swap. So
Oh
I
yeah,
kind of
you've
miss
been
that.
championing this for a long time.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, I know I'm not the only one. I've seen on Twitter, I've seen online, a lot of people were asking like, is there going to be an original soundtrack swap? Is it going to happen? 2 weeks before the game, no announcement. And it for me that was something that I really wanted. But then when you play the game, like you can actually hear like the original music, like you can hear pieces, you can hear notes of the original themes in the background, that have been like worked into the new pieces that they have created. And then the save room theme, I mean, obviously, like the save room theme is there when you interact with the typewriter. Like, you get the original save room theme,
Hmm.
or at least the remixed version of it. Um, and then I don't know about you guys, but to me, like the Nemesis, he looked a little too thin for me. Like he's obviously like he's still pretty big. He is a giant still.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
mean, compared to Mr. X, like he seemed pretty skinny. He seemed like a really skinny tyrant. And it's just like
I
I think
have,
that to
yeah.
me it kind of threw me a little bit. Like he's still obviously like a very imposing presence. Like he was still pretty menacing. I mean,
He's
you
just
can
so
see how he
fast,
had
bro.
me like
That's the
ragdoll the whole
scariest part.
playthrough last night. But I mean, it was a little bit disheartening to see the changes that they made to the Nemesis. I mean, I still don't know why they would give him a nose. Why would you give the Nemesis a nose? I mean, it's just it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Well,
saying
yeah,
the design is bad. I'm just saying that it probably could have been better.
I think most of the criticism stem from people that have been attached to the original from back
Hmm.
in the day. So,
yeah,
Yeah. Well, see, I'm
and
attached to the original too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, as you can see, like I have plenty to complain about.
right.
Just with these little nitpicks, right?
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm still enjoying the game for what it is, and I mean, no matter what, like you can tell that the developers put a lot of love and care into this game,
Boy,
and I
so
mean, it's
much.
pretty, it's pretty,
right.
it's pretty clear that this is still a really good game.
You can just see
But
in
I
the
mean,
death animations and how the zombies kind of like
Yes.
waddle around you, and
yeah.
it's so well made.
See that's kind of like a callback too to the original trio too. Because when you die in the originals, like the background just kind of like it fades to black, and then it is just literally like the player character. So like for example, if it was Resident Evil 1, Jill, right? You see Jill, like a random zombie like is still eating her, and then all of a sudden you just see like in bloodied letters, you died. While the
Hmm.
while the zombie is
Hmm.
still like munching on you. So I think that was a nice little callback there, because in Resident Evil 2, like it just kind of fades to black, and then it just transitions into another screen, like with pavement, with like blood dripping on the pavement or something.
Yeah.
So I mean I think that to me that was a really nice callback. I did like that. That was really nice.
Cool.
So I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of changes. Some are good, some are bad. I mean, I mean, it's nothing that I hate the game over, but
Hmm.
it's it's definitely something that kind of gnaws at me, like just like in the back of my mind there.
Yeah.
You're looking
Well,
for a
like you
little bit
say,
more of a
they're
one to
like
one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, I was one of those that was basically looking for like an exact shot for shot remake.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's not realistic, but they did a good job nonetheless. They did a good job. I love the game. I love the game so far. I know that it's something that I'm going to play over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. All right. I think we
nice.
have time for one more comment, one more brief comment. If somebody has something to say.
Well, we were talking about like the design of Nemesis. How about his voice?
Ooh.
His
Okay.
infamous stars phrase.
I think
What do you
it's
got?
it could be a little bit louder, but when you're playing it yourself and you have the audio right up in your ears, it's
Hmm.
different. It hits different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
because
when we were live streaming it yesterday, you guys were listening through the audio like on your earbuds and stuff, but I had my system going like behind me, so you could really hear like the how would you say, like you could just really hear like the reverb of his voice, and it was really like deep and loud, but at the same time, like, yeah, like it could have it, he could have said it like louder. He could have shouted it out more rather than just kind of like a low grunt. I think
Yeah.
maybe that would have been I think maybe that would have been a little bit more menacing.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
It's still
Because I
scary,
mean,
but
I feel like in the Resident Evil 2 demo, when they did that little Easter egg, I feel like he said it louder in the Easter egg in Resident Evil 2 demo versus in the actual game so far. But I mean,
Hmm.
again, that's we haven't really gone too much into the game, so we don't know how that might change. Maybe as the game progresses, he might get even more, aggressive. Maybe he'll start shouting out more, you know.
right.
Yeah, you're right.
But I love the voice. I love the voice. It's very deep. It's definitely what I would imagine Nemesis to actually sound like. So
Right, and that's what I heard. That it kind of like it goes with how Nemesis would actually sound like.
yeah, because I mean, there's been other like spin-off titles like Operation Raccoon City, where I mean they had Nemesis in there, and it wasn't bad voice work. Like whoever the voice artist was, like he didn't do a bad job. He did pretty good, but it wasn't something that was like, is this really what Nemesis would sound like? You know. So there's been times where they've given Nemesis a voice and it didn't really pan out. This is not one of those times. This is not they did a really good job with how he sounded.
Nice. Really nice. All right. So we got to move on to the from the Resident Evil talk because we're at 48 minutes and we still have a couple things to talk about.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and move on. Before we get to the Mario rumors, which are very juicy, uh, Dashi permeates through everything, man. All right. Okay, so before we get to that, I wanted to mention some delays that happened for Sony. So
Mm.
for Sony, because of the current world state, The Last of Us 2 and Iron Man VR got delayed indefinitely. So from PlayStation's Twitter, they say SIE has made the difficult decision to delay the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR until further notice. Logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. So it's not
So
about not having the game finished on time. It's more about being equal to the people that want physical and digital, it seems like.
yeah, I heard about this. There's like a lot of people, thinking that it's being delayed because they want to make it a PS5 game.
Yeah,
Uh, Personally, I mean, I understand why they're maybe delaying the game so everyone can get it, like you say, physically. And, but I know that a lot of people are not happy with the decision. Some people think it's the perfect occasion for people to
yeah.
get the game so you can stay at
Just
home
release
and
it
play it.
digitally. Just release it digitally. That's a lot of people
Right.
have that sentiment.
And, um, I mean, personally, I don't mind waiting for these games, especially The Last of Us 2. Yeah, but I can see why people are upset. I mean, this is the second delay for The Last of Us 2 already, so
Yeah,
I
it was
can
supposed
see
to come
why
out in
people are.
February, right? Initially, and then they
Yes,
pushed it back to May, and now because of what we're going through, it's gonna be pushed back indefinitely. So I do feel for the Last
mm,
of Us fans,
yeah,
Iron Man VR fans too. Gotta acknowledge Iron Man. It looks, I mean, an Iron Man VR game could be pretty sick. I haven't played it or I haven't seen much of it, but it sounds promising.
Well, the only thing we've seen is from the state of play, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think
That's
so.
the footage.
I think if you were to look up stuff about it, you could find things, but it's not readily available for everybody to see.
Right.
Any more comments about those unfortunate delays?
Well, for me personally, I think I mentioned this to you guys, but I mean personally, the hype for this game, it's kind of not there anymore for me.
Does it have to
I
do with
feel
the
like it's
delays,
been,
or is it something else?
well, it's because I mean, when was the first time The Last of Us 2 was announced?
Ooh,
That's
I think the first one came out in 2013. If I can fact check, but
oh, the first
you
time
mean
they
the
announced
reveal?
it. Yeah,
You mean
like
the
the reveal
for The Last of Us 1 or 2?
too.
That was 2016, no?
Ah, that's a good
The
question.
end of the end of 2016, I believe,
Oh
or
yes, yes.
2017.
At their PlayStation Experience, they did do a teaser.
That teaser trailer.
Yeah,
And I
December.
mean, since then, I mean, like you mentioned, or like Luis mentioned, it's been 2 delays since then. Um, it's just like, okay, I mean, I'm willing to wait, but it's just not it's not the same
Anticipation.
anticipation for it.
Yeah, I guess having to wait that long, it does run the risk of doing that. Do you think once it's upon you that it'll come back?
Maybe so. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
But I mean, it's not. I never played the first one,
Okay.
so
Yeah, you and I are in the same boat that we just
yeah,
watch Let's Plays. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully the anticipation comes back for you. Oh, go ahead, my
See,
boy.
speaking from personal experience, because I mean, I went through the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 3, because it was announced, like it
I
was
want to
first
say,
announced
yeah.
in 2015, and it didn't get released until like 5 years later.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, I
true.
mean, there was a point there for like maybe like up until 2018, let's say, where yeah, like I was just like, well, like this game is never gonna come out. Like I wasn't really like looking forward to it. But then I mean, what they did different, what Square Enix did different was, I mean, they kept releasing like different titles. They had the mobile game, the Union Cross. Then they also did the 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue to kind of set up the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 and stuff like that. And then I mean, they were good. They were good. Like distractions, and I mean, they were pretty good games on their own. But I mean, it really wasn't until like the finality of it all, when like the end of 2019 was coming, or the end of 2018 was coming. I mean,
Hmm.
and then when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in January of last year, um, I was ready. I was ready. I was I was counting down the days again. And then
Yeah, yeah.
I played through the game. I mean, I literally played through the game like in like two sittings, basically, like 2 3 sittings.
It's a shorter
And then I
game.
was just like, okay, well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't really a short game. The pacing was kind of off, which is what a lot of people said. The pacing was off.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily shorter or longer than any other Kingdom Hearts game. Like Kingdom Hearts 2 was roughly around 22 hours, pretty
Yeah,
much
I
where
didn't mean
I.
to steer the conversation off of The Last of Us and stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I mean,
Yeah, but yeah,
but I mean, yeah,
you're
like
relating it to it,
it's
yeah.
basically the point is that, yeah, like maybe like once they have like a release date planned out again, and maybe once it gets closer and closer to it, maybe the hype will come back for it. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was just my personal experience. Like, yeah, like I lost some steam, but then it came back. So
So I fact checked the Kingdom Hearts 3 reveal time. It was during E3 2013.
no, so even
Yeah.
longer than, yeah.
Damn, that's a long wait.
Yeah, so well, it was a 6 year wait. It was a 6 year wait. So
Yeah. All right.
Well,
So
we'll have to see what Naughty Dog and Sony does, like coming in the next few months.
what's gonna happen in the next few months?
we'll just have to see like what Sony does.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our final news story. Earlier this week, there were some rumors about Mario games that could grace us on the Switch this year for Mario's 35th anniversary. So, according to Video Games Chronicle, they reported that a rumor. They have sources that tell them that Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Galaxy will be remastered in one collection for an anniversary collection. And there's also a rumor of a Paper Mario, and that 3D World will get a deluxe edition, similar to how Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe got one. So that's pretty hype, man. Like everybody's going to be pleased by this, not?
Yes.
Well, if the rumors prove true, but
Yeah,
they're nothing but just that at this point. It's just rumors.
yeah, and it's not just them that did it. There's also other outlets that did throw their hat in the ring, saying that they did also hear these rumors. So
Yeah,
Gematsu,
it adds a bit of a more validity to it, but still at the end of the day, it's just reports. It's not nothing official just yet.
yeah. Well, see, for me, like, um, I mean, if they were to do remasters, or if they were like to like continue like the series, like sequel them or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure if I would be like. I mean, I'm not sure if I would be too hype about that. Because I mean, when Mario Galaxy came out, I didn't really play it. It didn't really draw my attention. If there was one thing about it that I liked, it was Rosalina, the introduction of Rosalina.
Yeah,
But
that
then when they
was
did
good.
Galaxy 2, I mean, it was literally just the same game with a new coat of paint and without Rosalina. It was, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Hmm. Well, yeah,
and
Yosh.
then and then the Paper Mario series, like after the original like three Paper Marios, I mean the Nintendo 64 one, golden, of course. You can't mess with perfection.
I hear some
Uh,
arguments for the Thousand Year Door.
the Thousand Year Door, it was good. I played that one too. I still have it to this day. I still play it. I mean, um, it was good. To me, it wasn't as good as the original. I mean, I have replayed it, but not as much as I have replayed the original.
I see. Hmm.
And then the Super Paper Mario that came out for the Wii, I mean, they had a good story, but not much else. I mean, the story was pretty good. I wasn't a fan of the gameplay, the mechanics. I mean, it was the only one where you could actually change the main character. Like you could play as like Paper Luigi and like other Mario characters.
Okay.
But I mean, it didn't draw me in as much as the first two did, and then just pretty much everything after that, like Color Splash and all those other ones, like no, I didn't get into it. So I'm not too excited about Paper Mario news.
But you like Paper Mario though.
I do like the series. I do like
Yeah.
the Paper Mario series. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if it looks promising, I'll give it a chance. But I'm not at this point. I'm not too excited about it. I'm not looking. I'm not anticipating anything. Like I'm not. I mean, looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. Is not the right way to describe it, but it's kind of.
You have your expectations in check, basically.
Yeah, like I'm not expecting anything
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you guys though? How do you guys feel about this?
For me, it's like the other way around. Like when I first heard the news about this rumor, um,
Mhm.
I was like immediately excited about it.
Yeah,
Because most of the game, um, Galaxy, Galaxy is probably my favorite uh, Mario game, 3D
I
Mario
see.
game.
That's fine. That's fine.
And then,
I'll soaking.
I don't know, I don't need your permission to ask me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
Yeah.
and then like Mario 64 and Sunshine, I mean that's just like childhood. Even with all the problems they have, because they do have problems.
Yes, they
Um,
do.
and we can get like,
I don't want to open the
uh,
64 thing, but I can speak on Sunshine though, on its problems.
and but I mean those games, they were part of my childhood. So being able to see them mastered would be a pretty like big deal for me. And, and I mean having all three. Well, there's some rumors that like Galaxy 2 is also coming.
Oh,
but
really?
I don't know how true those are.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
having all of it in one like cartridge or one game, it sounds crazy, but if it's real, it's um,
It's a must get.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Even for like people who played those games in their
Yeah.
childhood. Um,
It's yeah.
yeah, yeah, about the Paper Mario. Well, personally, we never play a Paper Mario. I know it's probably like the same for Nintendo fans.
I have the Thousand Year Door, but I was small when I played it, and I was not a fan of turn-based stuff until like I was 20. So I need to
Like,
revisit it.
we played a lot of turn-based games, so maybe it'd probably be our thing.
Yeah.
Um, but like having that as well gives us a chance to go and play those games and maybe become fans of the franchise. I did hear that then they're working on a new like Paper Mario, and it's
Hmm.
coming back to its roots, the original like the games. Because I know Color Splash and like what's it called,
Sticker Star, yeah.
Sticker Star, they kind of like went in another direction from the original ones.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are excited that it's coming back to its roots. So
I mean, if
it's
that's
a
the
good
case, then
yeah,
that's probably something that I would definitely get, but we'll see.
yeah, yeah. And then same with 3D Land or 3D World, 3D
3D
World.
World,
Um,
yes.
I wasn't able to play it on the Wii U, so having it on the Switch, if it comes, which I think that's one of the games that I think it's guaranteed that it's gonna come at this point.
Yeah.
It'd be a good um, opportunity to visit it. So I'm excited about this rumor going about.
I'm excited about how far they're taking these remasters. So are they just going to up-res it essentially, or are they going to actually revamp the graphics? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like Galaxy looks pretty good. I feel like they could just like kind of do the fresh coat of paint kind of deal.
Mm.
Sunshine looks good too, but they could make the environments less murky, like farther away. Like close up they look nice, but further away maybe they'll add some draw distance or whatever.
Yeah.
And then for 64, that's the granddaddy, so they could do a lot with that, but they could also have to be careful because there's so many people that are attached to 64.
Well,
Yeah.
they already remade
Yeah.
Mario 64 for the DS.
But it looks
For
pretty
the
much the
DS.
same, no?
Not
Like
really.
graphically, because I have the 3DS version. I never played the original.
I mean, there's less polygons, I guess, or
Yeah.
more at like they're less square looking. So it visually it does look a little bit better. Um, I mean, it wouldn't be up to like a console version quality, but I mean, it's definitely better than the original.
Right.
Though as far as the graphics go, anyways.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and how about we just like say what our favorite 3D Mario's are, or Mario in general, just
Oh,
real
you
quick.
asking the wrong person for this one, but okay.
So for Luis, it's Galaxy, the first one.
It's between Galaxy or Galaxy 2.
So
I'd
the
go with
Galaxy
Galaxy
series.
just because, yeah, Galaxy.
Okay. Mine is Sunshine. I just like the vibes of that game.
I would have to choose Galaxy.
Galaxy as well.
Galaxy. So the first one. I didn't like the second one. Well, I mean, I like the second one, but um, I don't get why they took out those 79. But anyways, yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
How
I
about you,
don't
Andres?
know. For me, like the main one, like of the mainline Mario titles, like I can't really say that I have a favorite. I mean, I'm more into like the Mario Kart, Mario Party, Paper Mario series. Like I'm more
The
into
Yeah.
yeah.
those,
Okay. I see
into
that.
that line. But I mean, if I had to choose like a mainline Mario title, actually, you know what? I completely forgot. Super Mario World, definitely my
I
favorite.
forgot. Yeah, I just thought about that right now.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
so you know what?
Mario
Never
World
mind.
is insanely good.
Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that with Sunshine. World and Sunshine are my favorites.
Agree.
Yeah. All right. All right, so that's going to wrap up the news for today, and that's going to take us almost to the end of our podcast. But you already know how I like to end this podcast with a game of pass or play.
Okay.
All right, so how this works is that I'm going to quote a quote from the back of a box of a game that you are familiar with or have played. All right.
Okay.
All right, so this is the quote. He is back with a new he is back with a new sidekick for a crazy adventure. Challenged, they endeavor to get back their stolen hoard. Armed with lightning quick moves and awesome aerial acrobatics, our duo is ready to face their cunning adversaries. With the help of his quirky family, they squabble and scamper their way through unending mayhem.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a title that all of us have played.
Uh, played. You probably you yeah, you've played I don't know if you have or not, but you're familiar with it at least.
Okay,
Okay.
so something about a duo, lightning fast, and then something about a family too. I mean, initially I thought Super Mario Odyssey, and I know we're not supposed to guess the title. I know we're just supposed to say pass or play, but I kind
Yeah,
of want to see if I know the title before you reveal what it is.
you know what? I'll
So
allow
my
it.
first
I'll
thought,
allow it.
yeah. So at first I thought it was Mario Odyssey, but then you said something about the family, like something about a family, and I was just like, okay, well, it's not that.
Yeah. Remember, I did take out things that would spoil the thing. I didn't alter anything, but I did take out snippets so that you wouldn't guess it fast.
Right. Oof. I don't know. Okay, see, just with that tagline, like, uh, I mean, it sounds so generic, but I mean, it probably something that I might play, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll choose play.
Okay, we have one play.
Okay. Me. Um. I'll play.
Okay, what did you like about the quote that got your attention?
The whole like duo thing.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy games with like multiple
We
characters.
have more. Yeah, we have more than one playable character. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that
But
definitely drew attention for me already. Yeah.
I have a theory of what game it is, but I don't want to say it right now. I'll say it like afterwards.
Okay.
After Jose says.
Okay.
Oh wow! So then, how would you know? How would any of us know that you were actually right and you didn't just say, "Oh, I knew it all along"?
Just call it
Say
out,
it.
Weech.
That's true.
Call it out.
That's true. Say what you think it is. Okay, I think it's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong.
Ah.
It's a good
Okay, it
guess.
might
Like
be.
it's a game. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Well, for me, the first thing I thought of was Sonic for some reason,
Sanic.
but I would play it. And it's for the same reasons that Luis mentioned. I think there's a lot of good games where like it's a pair, it's a duo. So I mean, I think right off the bat that alone kind of draws in your attention or drew in my attention. So I would play.
All right, so play across the board.
Yeah. Wait. What about? Well, okay. I mean, you already know what the title is, right? But I mean, if just by that tagline
Mm-hmm.
you were to judge whether or not that game was pass or play, would you pass or play?
Oh, that was it's a definite play. Just off of one thing.
Which is what?
Lightning quick moves and aerial acrobatics. You already know what I like, baby.
That's true. You
Yeah.
like that crazy mobility.
Yeah. Naruto.
Okay, what's the game?
Okay. All right, so the game is a Nintendo franchise. Well, not Nintendo doesn't own. I don't know if they own it. Anyway, it's on Nintendo consoles. It is the original Donkey Kong Country.
Mm.
Yeah. So all of you
Right.
agreed that you would definitely play the original Donkey Kong Country.
You know what? You know I have a problem with Donkey Kong, but
We
Donkey
know,
Kong
I know.
Country. No,
That's
no,
why I
no.
thought
You
it
know
was
what? You know
perfect.
what? Donkey Kong Country though. Before DK and I had our beef,
Uh-huh.
I used to mess heavy with Donkey Kong Country, and you know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the second one.
Yeah, especially Diddy Kong's Quest. Yes.
That was the
Quest.
perfect game if you had a younger sibling to give them the controller and pretend like they were doing something. Because Diddy was following Donkey the whole time, or vice
So
versa.
yeah, I never actually like saw it that way.
Yeah, and I think it was actually two player. You like if one died, you could take over the other, or if you switched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how it worked, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I did look at Donkey Kong Country 2, but that one, the back of the box is actually it's actually narrated by what's it, Cranky Kong, like
Hmm.
the
Mhm.
granddaddy, and I
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
reveals too much. Like even if I try to do snippets, you guys would have guessed it immediately.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I had to choose the originals. All right, so that was fun. All right, that's gonna bring us to the end of our podcast, our second podcast. If
Guys,
you,
what did you think?
yeah,
How are you liking being uh meeting up every Saturday morning for this?
I think it's improving my articulation really.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Um, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to talk about this, but something that I think we do have like to work on is our pacing. Um, we do find ourselves like I think we're improving a little bit. Yeah, we are. We're improving.
Yeah, just keep it at that hour mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're 12 minutes over this time, but it is what it is. We got better. I think last week we were like damn near 30 minutes over.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, thanks for listening to our podcast, our Road Jump Media podcast. We will see you next time on this podcast. If you would like to follow us on our social medias or look at our website, you can find it by typing in Road Jump Media. We're on basically every platform, but if you would like to know the ones that we are on, it is Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. And we also have a website that you could look up. All right. So thanks for watching. Greetings to everybody, and I hope that you guys will come back for the next one.